In this video, I'm going to help you put together an insane burst damage poison monk build utilizing one of my new favorite Ashes of War, the Poison Flower Blooms Twice. Looking at our attributes, we're sitting comfortably with 50 Vigor, 21 Mind to load up our buffs and maintain our attacks during combat, Endurance at 24 to cater to our medium load when utilizing the optimal gear, Strength and Dexterity at 20 just in case we want to try out some new weapons, Intelligence untouched at 9, Faith at 25 so we can cast Flame Grant Me Strength as well as Golden Vow, and then Arcane at 60 so we can maximize those poison procs. Looking at our talismans, we have the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, which increases our attack power if there is any poison or rot in the vicinity. We then have the Shard of Alexander, which greatly boosts the attack power of our skills, and then the Shattered Stone Talisman, which raises the potency of kicking and stomping skills, and our Ash of War is considered a kick. And then finally the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia, which greatly raises attack power with successive attacks. When we hit 2 of our L1 or light attacks, we proc both poison as well as this benefit from the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia. So this is where things get a little bit funky. Let's take a look at our gear. In front of us, we have what I like to consider a Poison Assassin Monk, a cool little aesthetic that I've put together during my DLC experience. But to be optimal, we have to look a little bit like this. Yes, I am not kidding. This is the optimal gear setup for this build, at least in my experience. So if you're willing to swallow your pride for an additional 16% or so damage, let's take a look at the gear you'll need to equip. First off, we have the Mushroom Crown, which raises our attack power when something nearby suffers from poison or rot. Then we have the Rakshasa Armor as well as Gauntlets, which increases our damage but greatly increases the damage taken. And then finally, we have the Divine Bird Warrior Greaves, which give us increased force to our kicks or damage, which is what our Ash of War is considered. Okay, here I'm going to illustrate the damage without our optimal gear equipped. We get our 2 light attack hits in, proc the poison, hit our Poison Blooms Twice Ash of War for 6,128 total damage. So if we minus the total damage from our poison buildup as well as our light attacks, we get a total of 4,440 damage from our Poison Flower Blooms Twice attack alone. Now let's illustrate with our optimal gear setup. There we go. We proc our poison and then shoot off our Poison Flower Blooms Twice for 7,102 damage. Once again, if we subtract the initial damage from our light attacks as well as the poison buildup, we get a total of 5,175 damage from our Poison Flower Blooms Twice alone. That is a 16% or 735 damage increase. I've also had varied levels of success with this in PvP, as players tend to get a huge surprise when getting injected with so much poison damage. Alright, that just about wraps up the build video. If you guys enjoyed this setup, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and obviously comment with any suggestions you may have for this build or anything that you might be playing with that I would like to take a look at. Have an awesome one, soldiers.